Good evening. We'd like to call to order the Kiski Area School District Board of Directors Legislative Meeting for October 22nd, 2025. Let's stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mr. Liberto.
Mr. Starlitz. Mrs. Rao.
Present.
Dr. Halter.
Present.
Mrs. Culp. Mrs. Millinger.
Present.
Mrs. Snyder.
Present.
Mrs. Kolakowski.
Present.
Mrs. Kamer.
Present.
Mr. Shaner. Present.
Dr. Lohr, Superintendent report.
Yes, just briefly, Madam President, just so everybody's aware, we did take a walkthrough of the intermediate school project before this meeting, just to check on progress. And again, before we hear from our intermediate school team on the Cavs lead kickoff, I want to let you know I did put some things in front of you this evening. Two pieces of information. One is a letter that was sent to me by the Department of Education from the Governor's Office of the Budget. We obviously know the budget impasse, so just that piece of information I got, I thought I wanted to just pass it on to you in terms of that communication. The second item is from Westmoreland County. Actually, the Children's Bureau sent some information regarding some food resources for some food security things to families. With the Washington government shutdown, those SNAP benefits are in jeopardy. I think November 1st is kind of the cutoff date if they don't get something resolved. So just in case you're asked or questioned, just some things for you guys. We are going to be sending that information out to our families tomorrow. There are a couple site locations near us. Again, this is for Westmoreland County, and I think there's some resource maybe we can get a hold of from Armstrong County as well to help with that. So along those lines, we are a CEP district, a community eligibility provision district, where each child in the district qualifies for free breakfast and free lunch. But even though this helps our families, that they don't have to fill out that paperwork at the beginning of the year with the income guidelines and such, we don't have a way to collect that information in terms of our economically disadvantaged students as it relates to food service. So we do need to gather that information. There's a report that's due here coming up in the next month or so that we need to provide our free and reduced lunch population, at least our socioeconomically disadvantaged. So we're going to be sending out an email communication to families, but before we did that, I want to let you know that we're going to be sending out sort of a survey to gather that information so that we can get numbers of our percent of free and reduced lunches. So we're going to try to get that electronically. That will dump into a spreadsheet for us that we can work those numbers. But again, if that's not as successful as we think it needs to be, there will be some paper copies that will be sent to try to gather that information. So we depend on those numbers for that community eligibility provision. In years past, we used to be able to get it from a program called Primero Edge, but Emily and BJ shared with me that at the last PIMS training that they were at, we're not able to gather that information from that program, so we've got to find another way. So again, I didn't want you guys to be taken off guard. We're not in the business of trying to figure out specific incomes for families. I know folks get a little bit guarded to provide that information, but there are income windows, so it's not that specific thing. But we would appreciate the cooperation and help from our families so that we can make sure that those numbers continue to help us and that program can continue. So with that said, that's all I have at this time. Again, the construction update we visited, we had that comprehensive visit last week. Again, on the agenda tonight, the board did ask that I get another price for the front area, the curbs. I just want to thank PJ Dick and Architect and everybody for getting that very quickly on Thursday to me so I could share that out with you. So that's removing that first concrete slab and then replacing that. That should get us at least 2 more parking spaces in the front. And then through some of your emails after I shared that out, you had some questions about whether that's going to help with maintenance and such, and yes, absolutely will. Folks had commented that it will help with snow plowing and those kinds of things. So Makes sense all around. The difference in price, again, was $300 and some difference. So that will appear, that's on the agenda to be considered tonight. So with that, in the spirit of, really showcasing some of the things our district is doing, I'm going to turn the program over to the intermediate school to kind of share about their positive behavior intervention system. So,
Thank you, Dr. Lord. Good evening, everyone. Mike Cardamone, building principal at the intermediate school. Super excited to be here tonight. I think more importantly, super excited to share the work that we're doing across our district with our MTSS framework, right? So when we talk MTSS, that's our multi-tiered system of supports and interventions that we have in play for kids, okay? Tonight, you're going to hear about one specific intervention that we use, which is our CAVS LEAD program. And why it's exciting to me is we're talking about our kickoff, but throughout the year, you're going to hear about each school and how they're representing CAVS LEAD. CAVS LEAD states for behaviors that we want to see in kids. The LEAD represents leadership, empathy, accountability, and determination. With that being said, I have our team with me tonight, and why it's exciting to me is because it's a chance for us to showcase the work of our teachers. So with me tonight, I'm going to allow Mr. Cortazzo to jump up next, and then he's going to introduce the team, and they will take the presentation on its way.
Hi everyone, John Cortazzo, I'm assistant principal at the intermediate. It is my pleasure to introduce these guys here. They're sitting behind me. Not only are they local to the area, 2 Kiski area graduates, Leechburg graduate, which is awesome to bring back graduates to a district to then teach the next generation of students. And it's admirable the leadership role that they all have taken on. They weren't asked to do it. They jumped in both feet, and they've assembled an awesome team to provide our kids with opportunities both to learn behaviors in our building, to learn what it's like to be a Cavalier. They've put together a kickoff event that was exciting for both kids, staff members, and everybody. And there's video and pictures to support that. But they've done a tremendous job. Katie Schaefer, Brittany Goodwin, and Jared Curcio. You guys, thank you.
Hi everyone. We can go to the next slide. So this sort of all began, Jared and I had the opportunity last year to go to Hershey for the MTSS and PBIS convention, where that's where our love for this really bloomed, because we were able to hear what a bunch of other districts in the state were doing. We got to see who was being recognized for their PBIS programs on different tiers there. So we were able to hear another school talk about how they created a successful kickoff, and that's where we sort of mimicked and decided what we were going to do. So from that, our team that you saw previously on that slide decided to plan a video to promote it, an empathy activity, so that we could also coordinate with our counselors for the SEL component that they needed, and we did a poster contest with that, and then we did the kickoff event as well as a school-wide incentive program. Next slide, please.
So our team started working together to create the video, so that got rolled out a week before, and the ultimate goal of that was to really get the kids excited and a better understanding of what LEAD is, what those 4 pillars are in the school. So leadership, empathy, accountability, and determination. And I thought that this was a really awesome opportunity to get some student body representative into the videos, where the students video teachers, teachers video students. So everyone across the school was getting involvement and getting them ultimately super excited for that kickoff event that was coming in the following week.
Can we share the first 30 seconds of the video?
Absolutely.
Don't judge Mr. Curcio on his kicking skills. They're pretty rough.
Did not play kicker.
Hi, my name is Ashley Carney. In 8th grade, I play football and I wrestle. And I'm here with Mrs. Schaefer. Mrs. Schaefer, what is CAPS lead?
CAPS Lead is a positive behavior incentive program that we are using here at Kiski Area Intermediate School. It is to show students and reward them for the everyday positive behaviors that they do in their school. And LEAD stands for leadership, empathy, accountability, and determination.
My name is William Barshman. I'm an 8th grade student with football. I'm here with Miss Tyler. Miss Tyler, what is CAPS lead mean?
Well, CAPS lead to me means that you are a good human. You are following the rules of CAPS lead, having leadership, empathy, determination, and accountability.
My name is Bailey Schwartz, and I'm here with Kiski. What's the leadership like?
I would say that leadership is more about leading by example, not just talking the talk, but actually walking the walk and demonstrating what people want as far as a coach, a teacher, and yeah, if you demonstrate the things that
So, stuff, I know this is riveting, but
others
we decided from this video to sort of mimic, I believe the upper did a video similar, so with the kids moving up, we wanted to keep consistency through the buildings as well. And we chose to have sort of the students interview the teachers for this, just to give them a sense of leadership in the video as well.
Okay, so before our event, we had each of our homeroom teachers pick 2 individuals that showed lead, so leadership, empathy, accountability, and determination. Once we got to our kickoff, we had their names inside of a box, and Mr. Curcio would pull them out, and it was really exciting for the kids to see if their name was going to be picked or not. We had 3 different stations. We had the combination station, which that kind of showed students how to open up their locks, because I know transitioning from the upper to the middle school, sometimes they tend to have issues opening those locks. We had Find the Cavalier. We had a box of junk. We had folders, Katie's kids' shirts. We had socks, winter coats. This kind of showed some students, their lockers actually do look like that, and they're shoving things in there, and whenever they try to find their math binder, their ELA binder, they can't find it because there's random stuff in there. So they were trying to find a little Cavalier within their locker. And then lastly, we had the distraction station. So they had different task cards, and one of them was maybe a student is walking to the next class and they see the groundhog that's in the courtyard, and they try to, did we say feed it or something? Feed it. Yes, so we were kind of showing them that you need to get to class as soon as possible and not stop and talk to your friend and stop and use the restroom for 10 minutes. So those were our 3 stations, and at the end, the team that won, they got to choose Starbucks or a Dairy Queen gift card. Each student got one. So that was our kickoff, and the students loved it. There's some
I was going to say, if I could, that was our kickoff event in the auditorium, and it was awesome because we don't usually have that space. So we had 7th grade down there, and we had 8th grade down there. The kickoff event was really cool, and I wish they were here tonight. Mr. Kiski and Miss Heine, our band played the fight song, and we sung the alma mater as part of the kickoff event to kick off the school year. As you work your way around, that top picture of that young man smiling, that was a locker, and believe it or not, I was like, they're going to find the Cavalier heads in like 2 seconds. They still couldn't. They were tucked in pants, they were tucked in books, like, it was phenomenal. If you see, Mr. Curcio did a phenomenal job of being the MC. He led the event, but the bottom picture, at one point, the kids were engaged, standing, laughing, having fun, watching their peers do silly things, but it did get the point across. The combination station, it's funny, like 7th graders or 8th graders trying to open up a locker combination. It was really cool to see them though working away and as fast as they could trying to pop open a lock. Like it was a really good idea, and again, hats off to this team for designing it. I just want to say thank you, but wanted to speak a little bit
And some of the pictures, if you see in the top there, we also utilized Mr. Donati's life skills students. He also nominated kiddos from his homeroom, and we utilized them to help us with the timers to sort of bring in those life skills that they're learning in their class to the event so they could be included as well. Yeah. And then for the poster contest, like I said, we worked with the counselors so that we could also have a structured lesson that went along with this. So while the 7th grade was in the auditorium, 8th grade worked on their posters, and we did a homeroom competition for that as well. And I might be biased because they are our kiddos, but I thought they did a phenomenal job with a very hard task. It's not always easy to describe and define what empathy is, because most people look at it as like a feeling and they don't know exactly always how to put that to words or paper. So I believe our students did a wonderful job on something that could be very difficult. And they're still up in the middle school if anybody wants to come, but there's those pictures to see as well.
And then just to close, like the ultimate goal of this is creating student and teacher buy-in. And the teacher buy-in is the just as important part, right? Because we need every person in the building involved to work to develop what it says. It's positive behaviors in the school, and that's the ultimate goal, why we do this, why we go there every day, to breed student success, so that they can come here every day and be comfortable in an environment where they can strive to reach their full potential. And that's really what this team is working each and every day to do. And I feel like I would be remiss to give a shout out to these 3 people sitting here who are cornerstones of their building and the school district as a whole. They're continually working day in and day out with PBIS at the intermediate school, and especially the upper, because we piggyback off so much that they do each and every day, and we learn from them every day just to ultimately help our students be the best version of themselves. Thank you guys, we appreciate for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, any questions about the kickoff or about the program in general?
Just one real quick one. I see weekly, monthly, so you continue this on a regular basis. It's just not just the kickoff.
No.
So along with our CAPS Lead program, and it's really awesome, our teachers have the ability to use, it's called PBIS rewards, and kids get points for demonstrating leadership, empathy, accountability, determination. And when they get points, they can either buy items from a teacher store or from a school store, or you see raffles up on the board. And then we are currently working on a November event as a school-wide goal that if they reach so many points, there's a reward for demonstrating those behaviors. So it's ongoing throughout the year, and it is really neat in a way in which it's like a kid's bank account and system that they can earn points by doing the right things to then get some of the stuff that they want.
So I know you said at the kickoff, everybody has the buy-in because that's super exciting. Do you see it, do you feel like you have to work hard to keep that buy-in going sometimes? Because I know it can be a little challenging.
I think we do. It's also, middle school. It's
Absolutely. Yes.
We do. That's why we try to keep, and we switch it up what we do. We try to do different monthly things. Like last year we did a scavenger hunt with the kids where it was only while they were in the halls. We had, what was it? Leprechauns.
Mr. Cardamom.
It was Mr. Cardamom, Mr. Cortado. It was those face on the leprechauns. The kids had to find them. They took them then to the office during transitional time, they weren't allowed to go during class time, and took them just as something that was fun, positive. We did golden tickets. Every teacher got a golden ticket, and the students that were showing lead at that time and leadership in the classroom, they got the tickets. Those were things that when the kids have those tangible things to work towards and they know that we're being consistent with it, that's whenever we definitely see that they want to do this, they want to be a part of it.
And if there aren't, because there's the spectrum of behaviors. If there's someone that's maybe, struggling with that, do you use the idea of catching them being good and trying to provide that? Because sometimes kids can't always meet those goals. So I think this is really great.
Yeah, and I think, go ahead.
That's where the rewards comes in, the
Okay.
PBS reward system, because it's on, you can get 3 points, 2 points, or 1 point, and it's for every component of LEAD. So for leadership, empathy, accountability, and determination. So the kids, they don't have a cap on how many points they can earn, and that is where the catch you sort of is. And a lot of times, like for example, we had a binder check in math today, and a student took it upon himself to go help other kids with that. He didn't have to, he wasn't asked to, but he wanted to be there for his peers so that they could also get it done
nice.
before the class ended. So they got the points for leadership and empathy for that.
Oh, that's great.
Is there an option for kids to nominate their peers kind of as that aspect of accountability and empathy, recognizing that their peers may have those skills and not just get the points from the teachers and the staff?
The kids can assign the points, but they can come to us and we
Okay.
can, and there's a comment section, and it also goes straight out, there's a code that the parents can access it as well, and the parents can see that with the comment section. And there's a section on there for teachers, like Mr. Curcio is doing amazing, I can give him a shout out as well, and there's a teacher point side of it as well. There's also a social, the SEL component for check-ins and check-outs, for us to sort of, if you have a student that is struggling that needs those check-ins daily, that's also a framework on there as well.
Oh, nice. Wonderful. I know how hard those can be, so congratulations. Kudos to you all. I know it's hard to keep it going all year, so great job.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
With that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. We do not have anyone signed up for citizens' comments on agenda items. And Mr. Repack was here last Wednesday to give his solicitor's report. Next is board representative reports. Is there anything new from last week?
I have a quick reminder that Northern Westmoreland will have an open house November 6th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We have no meeting in November. Our next meeting is December 4th, and it's the reorg meeting.
Okay.
I also just want to add that they formed an agreement with St. Francis University, and children attending the tech center have the ability to earn an associate's degree by the time they leave high school for a minimal amount of money invested in credits. And they're trying to do some fundraising so that that is possible through people of all economic strata in the school. And I have to tell you that that is an amazing thing. I really was pleased to see that.
Is
You
the
know,
associate's
gives-
degree in a specific area?
So no, it's every area. So
wow.
like, we had our student representative there, and she's a junior and she's in cosmetology, and we were talking to her about that because if she had wanted to start a business in the future, and she would have an associate's degree in cosmetology going in, that she could springboard off of that. And it's a huge money saver, as you know, because we're all paying for higher education for our children. So it's really a great thing. They're doing a lot of different agreements with different institutions for different amounts of credit, depending on what it is. And I expect that as time goes on and they see the students coming in and the success, I expect to see, the pot sweetened, so to speak. Yeah.
Mrs. Kamer, can you give me that open house date again?
November 6th, it's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I do have the prices, so it's 4 courses, what I can see, and it's $200 a credit. So it's $600 a course. That's pretty, it's cheap, I think.
Yeah, $2,400.
I have the pamphlet if anybody,
Yeah, Charlie's in there. Yeah, I'll look at that.
You can have it, Amy, because I know
Okay.
you have a
Yeah, I have a son in there.
child, or anybody can look at it.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other reports to the board that we did not cover?
It's Jenna, can you hear me?
Yes.
I did want to give an update from the WIU. We had an information session on 10/16 last week to discuss contingency plans regarding the state budget impasse since it's continuing. There's a contingency plan that would take place starting November 30th if the budget does not pass by November 30th. They may need to get a second revenue anticipation note and potentially to suspend student programs and furlough staff. There's going to be negative cash flows starting in December. If we do get the second grant, we could postpone suspension of specific programs and the temporary furloughing of staff till January 1st, but that's only if we are approved for the second grant. And if not successful, then they would look at needing to suspend programs starting December 1st. So that was a meeting just to cover their contingency plan, which does not sound great. Certainly we don't want to suspend programs or furlough staff, but this state budget not being passed is really straining everything, everyone, every district, every school. And the next meeting will be October 28th at 7 p.m.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mrs. Rao. Okay, we're moving on to reports to the board. Can I have a motion to accept items 6.1 through 6.4 on tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you. Passed. Also a motion to approve minutes for 7.1. These are minutes from September 15th legislative meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, any communications or old business, Dr. Lohr?
No, Madam President.
Okay. Mrs. Snyder, personnel.
Madam President, I move that we approve items 10.1 through 10.7 on this evening's agenda.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you, that passes. Mrs. Snyder, also finance, please.
Okay. Madam President, I move that we approve items 11.1 through 11.7 on this evening's agenda.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you, that one passes. Mrs. Kolakowski, legislation.
Yes, Madam President, I make a motion, the board approves item 12.1 through 12.5 under legislation on the agenda this evening.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, perfect, that passes. Okay, so I'll ask you all to approve the bills 13.1 through 13.3 on tonight's agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Wait, I'm
Oh, sorry.
I have some discussion.
Oh,
for a
perfect,
second.
sorry about that.
Yeah, Rick, I had a couple questions on the bills. So could you tell me, the backflow testing that was done, where was it done and what were the results?
They all passed, and it was done at all of our buildings except the intermediate school.
Okay, very good. Also, I wanted to know, there were tile on the bills for the entrance to the wrestling room, $6,900. Wouldn't this have been included in the renovations?
No, so that's the floor as you're coming in the back door by the athletic office, so you kind of walk into where the cheerleading room is. So there was a certain type of floor, it was like a rubber floor, right, Chad? Something like that. So there was a certain type of floor down there that we really couldn't get a good finish to, so we thought about a better type of flooring system, so when people would come into there, and it would be more durable, and so we opted to do that as our own. The district opted to do that. So it's not in the wrestling room, it's like in the entranceway and in the cheerleading room.
Okay, very good, thank you. I also saw that there was a little bit of cost for some salsa classes.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
They are held, Spanish teacher brings in a female salsa teacher to teach Spanish classes, salsa.
So I just want to comment that I think that's awesome because it's not always easy to learn a foreign language, but if you do it with motion and it's a cultural experience and it's also a good way to learn, so.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I just know,
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the program, they also do it during lunch and learn for all of the students, not just ones that, he visits the class with the foreign language, but he also does the lessons during lunch and learn, which gets quite a response, and it's actually a really fun day. and they dance in the atrium, and the atrium is packed, and they have people up on the balcony, and it is really cool. So maybe next time we'll make sure we make that a little more public to have some board members maybe attend and watch, because it's awesome.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
I think that it'd actually be a lot of fun too.
They've done that for quite a few years. Actually, our previous retired teacher started the program, and they've continued it since. It's actually really cool.
That's great. I love it. Awesome. We're doing positive things. Can you tell me, so I did see one expense on there, especially in this time, that was very large. There was a $109,000 expense for WIU find a trib article or some sort of ad in the youth shelter. Can you tell me about that?
So it's multiple invoices come from the WIU on one check, obviously, so there's some little incidental items in there, but the biggest thing was a $101,000 payment to WIU for the detention center, youth detention center. And it's $101,000 for the entire 24-25 school year. I think there's 6 or 7 kids that attend, not 10, but are placed in that program. So, yeah, it's 24-25 that was paid this year that grew back to last year. So.
That's a significant amount to put out. And you know why I asked about that also, I keep thinking about what we were told about school safety and about the biggest factor in making schools safe and keeping incidents down is making a positive, inclusive environment. Anything we can do to make a positive, inclusive environment to keep kids to want to be here and stay positive, and like the intermediate school, start them young, make something, get them some kind of reward to get them involved, make it positive. It's all a good thing, because I'd much rather pay for the little things than the big things.
Right.
So thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that clarification.
And let me add something to that. All that was included in the budget.
Yeah, oh, yes, yeah, when we budget, yeah, that's all included. And again, it's regular kids and non-regular kids.
Yeah, but
and then
the budget we approve, all that cost was
we
included.
approve tuition for those programs.
How do you, here's the thing, how can you possibly know?
Well, you know, a lot of it's based on history. When we budget, we build that budget based on history, but we also add in some extras because we don't know if somebody who's in the district gets placed there. You know, they're all court placed, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we don't have much say over that.
No, and it's just a shame if you look at our budget and our situation, you know, when we talk about money and expenses and things coming in, we have so many expenses that, you know, our district is simply a pass-through. It's money that just, you know, all we're used for is a place to write the expense out, and it doesn't stay. So it looks like we have a lot of money, but a lot of it we don't get to keep or use or control.
Right.
So, yeah, thank you, Rick.
So we will go back to approve 13.1 through 13.3. Is there a motion?
We did all motion.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
There was a
you're good.
motion and a second, and so all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Mrs. Mellinger, student activities.
Madam President, I make a motion that the board approves items 14.1 through 14.4 under student activities this evening on the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, that motion passes. We don't have anything under curriculum and professional development this evening. Mr. Shaner, construction.
And Madam President, I recommend for the board to approve 16.1 to 16.3 on the agenda.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That passes. Okay, we are to citizens' comments on non-agenda items. The board welcomes comments of a general nature relating to the school board business from residents, taxpayers, employees, and students of the district. We request that you limit your comments to 3 minutes. All other rules for engaging the board detailed earlier in the public comment period apply to this session. We have one person signed up, Don Bailey. You can step up to the podium there, please. Okay, state your name and the community you reside in.
Dawn. Sorry.
That's okay.
Dawn Bailey. I live in Vandergrift
Okay.
Borough. I'm going to try this really hard for 3 minutes because I'm nervous and unfortunately I'm very long-winded. If anybody's ever got an email from me, they'll know that. Unfortunately, it's gotten to this point that I've had to come to the board. I have a son that goes to the intermediate school. He's in 8th grade. At the beginning, before the beginning of 8th grade, I talked to Mr. Cortazzo and Mrs. Claypool and let them know that he was tested with Dr. Carasso and his comprehension was like at a 10-year-old. And we decided that he should, we talked and we tried to put in place the fact that instead of getting him tested, let's try putting him in the front of the class and doing a planner. Well, unfortunately, that did not work. We couldn't, those things put in place weren't happening.
Mrs. Bailey, I don't want to interrupt you, but this is a public meeting, so I just wanted to make you aware, like you're talking about your son, we absolutely want to hear you, but I just wanted you to know that this is recorded and going out, just so that you were aware of that.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's completely fine because you know what? I want other people to be able to have the same help. Okay, my son has been having struggles in math class. I over and over repeatedly for 3 weeks tried to ask for help to get him help in math. I got the whole way up to the superintendent. Mr. Superintendent, I don't know if you got the messages or not. I also addressed you in the IEP request and I got no communication back, unfortunately. That's why I'm here to the board. I feel like I was dismissed and I addressed that if I could please get some help because it's very important to me that my son gets his education. I have him being tested because he needs help. He was not getting no help in math. It got to the point where I asked for help. The math teacher was not giving me any help. I don't understand why in our district we're not using books. I am finding other teachers in our district that have children in other districts are using books. When I lived in Armstrong County, we used books. Books, I feel, are very important because sometimes, am I done? And will you please give me the courtesy to finish? Because this is very important because I have a wonderful principal at the upper elementary with a child who I have an IEP with and a guidance counselor who goes above and beyond to help my child. But my child here, we're talking about this program, the CARES program, not CARES, what's your program?
PBIS.
Yeah, CAVS lead, okay? But empathy should be coming also from our teachers. They should be giving that back. My son says, I don't like school. I hate school. School sucks. He has a history teacher who 3 times I've asked over and over to contact me, and he won't. My son is a band student. He doesn't get talked to by his history teacher, but the history teacher has very good communication with the football players. But I had to reach out to Mr. Swartzlander, and he's had very good communication with me. He's the only one helping me. And when he reached out to his history teacher, all of a sudden, my son was talked to and was helped.
Okay.
Um,
I greatly appreciate your comments, and we will definitely take those to heart of what you had to say.
I love my son. He needs education, and in our school district, I should not have to beg for a book. I should not have to beg for education. Every student should get the education that they need, and I have gone to our administration, and I feel like I was pushed away. So, and my son felt pushed away, and I have been begging for a new math teacher. Because I went to his old math teacher and said, he was great in my class. There's something wrong.
Yes.
So,
Thank you very much.
on
You're
that
out of
note-
time. Unfortunately, we gave you a little bit more time, but we'll definitely take these comments and what you said to heart.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, in closing, we will go around for director's comments. Mrs. Mellinger.
I don't have anything to
I don't have anything tonight.
Nothing this evening.
Mrs. Snyder.
No, nothing else to add, thank you.
Mr. Shaner.
Yes, Pennsylvania School Board Association, if you saw it in the email, they have a webinar coming up on board organization with new board members on November 10th. I know many of us work, some of us don't. It may be something you want to consider registering. Just happens, it's over lunchtime, 12 to 1.
Okay. Thank you for that. Dr. Laura.
No, I don't have anything to add. I want to thank the intermediate school for their presentation tonight, and the teachers that are coming out at 7 o'clock to share the good news happening here, so thank you.
And I think the only thing that I will add as well is the, PBIS and the CAVS LEAD program is so very important, and it's nice to catch on and like you said here, to grow it so that we're maybe preventing some kids being placed in a juvenile facility or any other type of facility. I do have quite a few resources for Armstrong County regarding food bank, different programs right now. I know that I have been sending a lot of this out to people that I know, like there's Thanksgiving takeout dinners. You're registering already for those out of Ford City. There is also free community dinners at a church in Katanning starting November 27th at St. John's Lutheran Church. So I can make sure that I pass some of those along to, the district here to get some of that stuff out, because unfortunately, it looks like things might be a little tough for our community members. So we want to make sure we give them all the resources that they need. And I'm sorry, Mrs. Rao, I forgot to ask you if you had director's comments. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. No, I do not. Thank you, though.
Yeah, sure thing. And good luck to our Kiski Cavalier football team, that they are taking on Woodland Hills this week. So hoping for a good turnout there.
Oh, congrats to the band.
Yes, that's what.
Yeah.
Yes, congratulations to the
that.
band. I saw someone posting that we are ranked top 32 in the nation. Is what I
don't remember.
yes, I think that's what it was. So I think that is also some of those big schools in Texas coming up against them. That's amazing. As we hear them serenading us tonight,
they
right?
are. Can I just say one thing too?
Yes.
I will not be at the football game Friday night, but it is senior night, so congratulations to all of our senior football players, band members, cheerleaders.
Yeah. I thought we would never get to the end for senior night. It's been, our schedule is a little off, but that'll be really nice to celebrate them for sure. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you. Meeting adjourned.
I have Jenna's from last week at school.
Thanks, Jenna.
Las Vegas, Lord.
Vince, are we off?
We are